Hi, I'm Claire Tompkins, the Clutter Coach, and this is the Organize Your Life podcast. I am passionate about organizing because it makes my clients' lives so much easier, more relaxed, and with more time to spend the way they want to. That's what organizing is all about, not about being neat or having the right containers. It's about getting more time for what matters to you. My specialty is chunking down this big topic so it's not overwhelming. That's the concept behind my book, 5 Minutes to a Relaxing Bedroom. And that's the concept for this podcast too, which is based on my first book, 52 Simple Ways to Get Organized. Both books are available on my website and on Amazon. In every podcast, I'll lay out a simple organizing concept and tell you why it's important. I'll include an action step at the end so you can start practicing right away. Okay, here we go. Today's podcast is called Set Information Free, and it's based on Chapter 5 of my book, 52 Simple Ways to Get Organized. In a previous podcast, I talked about how reading material can get out of control. So can the reference material we hang on to. This is the age of information, and man, it is crowded. The biggest downside to keeping information around is that it becomes obsolete so quickly. Do you remember encyclopedias? They took up multiple bookshelves with their many volumes of all the world's information. People bought them on the installment plan and kept them, well, kind of forever. Sounds wacky now, doesn't it? Whenever I do some weeding out in my files, I encounter things I saved to refer to again. But I realize I just don't look at that stuff anymore. It's just so much simpler to go online and look for the answer I need. I'll either find the same material I've been keeping, but faster and more conveniently, or I'll find an updated, improved information. That's even better. My files get whittled down all the time. Here's a tip for you. It's a great idea to look around for things to toss out every time you open a file drawer. Take a look at the back of the folder you've just looked at. Or quickly page through a folder to see what's outdated inside there. Okay, back to our program. What's important nowadays is to be a skilled finder of information, not a keeper of it. The internet is the most obvious source, but there are others. Some good information sources are your local library, the bookstore, your friends, your colleagues. Librarians are scientists. They have degrees in library science. It's their job to collect, organize, and disseminate information. That's what they get paid for, and they love to help. So ask one. Books are great too. They are not out of date quite yet. In fact, more and more books are being published every day. Everyone is an author. Partly because they're so plentiful and the publishing timeline is so much shorter, the role of books is changing. Books are seen more as consumables, information sources that you consume and then go on to the next, rather than keeping it on your bookshelf forever. Books in electronic format make that super easy. As for friends and colleagues, you probably know people who are experts in something, whether it's the best new restaurant, how to hang a picture, how to say a phrase in German. Sometimes it's easier to get information from someone you know well, whose explanation you know you'll understand. If you can't seem to let go of information material, archive it. That means keep it in a separate location. I don't truly recommend this, but archiving material is far better than having it fill up your living and working space. Use your least accessible space for this, such as the attic or the back of a closet. Digitally, this could mean offloading files onto external drives, or simply another folder that's not part of your working files. I have talked to people who will offload their files on thumb drives, which I really don't think is recommended for long-term storage because they are just really not stable enough for that. They're really good for temporary storage only, so just be aware of that. What I've noticed with my clients is that they haul some file cabinets to the garage, fill them up, and then they never look at that stuff again. They're not really sure even what's in there. When we go through it, we usually end up getting rid of almost all of it and freeing up lots of extra space for them. Before you start thinking that you need to add a room onto your house, consider how much space you could reclaim by getting rid of things you don't need, particularly old files. Businesses use a retention schedule to tell them how long to keep files. You can find a good one for household use by just searching online for Household Retention Schedule. For legal, financial, and tax documents, always consult the appropriate professional before you get rid of them. Again, the important thing is not to know, it's to know whom to ask. This is more critical all the time since information gets out of date faster and faster. Shift from saving the information to knowing what to look for and where. Okay, your action step today is to find that catalog you've been saving just in case. Either look up their website and bookmark it, or copy the address and phone number into your address book, or take a photo of the cover and save it to Evernote. Then ditch the catalog. You'll be able to find it again, online, or in your archives whenever you need to. Hey, thanks for listening. I'm Claire Tompkins, the Clutter Coach. If you like the show, I'd love it if you'd leave a rating and a review in iTunes. You can subscribe, too, so the podcast will be ready and waiting for you to listen to it. Read my blog at www.cluttercoach.net. The blog is also where you'll find the show notes. And check out my store to find books I've written and books and products that I recommend, and some freebies, too. Come back for more next week.